No trip to Maine would be complete without a visit to Acadia National Park, the crown jewel of the North Atlantic coast. Here, the mountains meet the sea, creating some of the most breathtaking landscapes you will ever visit.
Whether you're looking for peaceful walks, adventurous hikes, or unique views, this is the most perfect Maine experience. So, grab a cup of coffee and enjoy our favorite 10 things to do in Acadia National Park. Located along the Atlantic coastline of Maine and mostly on Mount Desert Island, Acadia National Park protects nearly 50,000 acres of coastline, rocky cliffs, beaches, mountains, quiet coves, and wildlife.
This New England haven is one of our favourite places in the world, and every single thing we have ever done here is easily a must-do for us, but these are our top 10 unmissable experiences in Acadia National Park.
Our first recommendation is Cadillac Mountain, and more specifically, sunrise at Cadillac Mountain. We recommend getting here at least 1 hour before sunrise, as it gives you the chance to find your favorite spot away from the crowds and to enjoy dawn. From here, you can see the Atlantic Ocean and the bays, towns and islands below, but also fishermen's boats getting ready for the day ahead, and you can hear the distant sound of horns. When we went, the fog was adding to the atmosphere, and for a while we were worried that we were not going to be able to see the sunrise, but this turned out to be one of our favorite sunrise experiences.
Cadillac Mountain is also the highest point on the US Atlantic coast, and from October through March, it is also the first place in the US where you can see the sunrise. This is an absolute must-do. However, even if there is a large parking lot, at the time of filming, if you are visiting between May and October, you will need a reservation to access the Cadillac Summit Road. You can get one on recreation.gov, but make sure you are quick, as specifically sunrise reservations sell out within minutes from their release, but it is so worth it.
A little tip, bring layers as it can get very cold up there.
Our second must-do is the very popular Sand Beach, one of the first major stops along the Park Loop Road, the mostly one-way road that brings you to some of the most popular parts of the park. Sand Beach is the largest sandy beach in Acadia and is situated between mountains, offering stunning views and a dramatic coastal landscape. This is maybe what we love the most about Acadia, the towering Rocky Mountains meeting the restless Atlantic Ocean.
The ocean water can be shockingly cold here, even in the summer, when it rarely exceeds 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It was October when we went, so we didn't brave it, but we still could have spent the whole day here. The parking here is fairly large, but it often fills up early in the morning. To make things easier and to prevent traffic congestion, Acadia offers a free shuttle service from June to October. It's actually very useful.
From the parking lot at Sand Beach, you can access one of the most thrilling hikes in the park, the Beehive Trail. If you are searching for adventure and spectacular views, you cannot miss this one. However, even if it's only a 1.4 mile round trip, it's not for the faint of heart. The Beehive Trail is known for its steep climbs, iron rungs, exposed cliffs, granite staircases, and narrow ledges. Before going, we weren't sure whether we would have been able to complete it, as we had heard so much about it and watched hundreds of videos, and we were very apprehensive. But we decided to take it easy and try.
From the parking lot, you start walking through a beautiful woodland. Soon after, you start the ascent, climbing over a series of boulders until you realize that you are already pretty high. This is only a preview of the spectacle that awaits you. From now on, the trail is easy to follow, as it's clearly marked. But it becomes steep, exposed and narrow, ascending a 450 feet cliff. At this point, we were too far ahead and the only way was forward. Soon after, granite staircases and exposed edges give way to the famous iron rungs.
We realised that the key to complete the hike was to focus, and we found climbing the iron rungs to be so much fun. Caution is necessary, as you could really get into trouble if you put your foot in the wrong place. When we reached the top, we were greeted by some of the most incredible views of Acadia National Park. It was totally worth it. The hike down was through a beautiful forest and it was pretty easy and quick.
But overall, was this hike as scary as we thought it was?
I think the problem is that a lot of videos say it's really scary, but actually the reality is it's not as scary as they make it out. They like sensationalize it.
Yeah, for someone that's very scared of heights like me, I always fear about vertigo and stuff like that.
Yeah, you've been scared so far from a ledge before, like been crawling on other mountains.
I was fine, but we can't say it was super easy.
No, we can't say it was super easy. So our advice is, if you come prepared and are super careful, then it's probably going to be the most fun hike you ever did. But start your ascent early so you avoid crowds, wear the right footwear, and take your time. If this seems too scary for you, you can also reach the top of the Beehive via the easy bold trail. Also beautiful.
A few minutes drive from here, we recommend stopping at Thunder Hole, a natural carved out nook along the rocky shoreline where you can hear a thunderous sound caused by the air escaping from the high tide as the waves enter this channel. We recommend coming here 1 or 2 hours before high tide to hear this roar, but be careful as wave sprays have been known to reach over 40 feet in height. When we went, the tide was still low, but we still managed to hear the roaring power of the ocean. There is a staircase that leads to Thunder Hole and allows you to get close and personal with this natural wonder.
Our next recommendation is the popular Jordan Pond. There are a couple of must-dos here. The first one is the Jordan Pond Trail, which follows the shore of Jordan Pond, one of Acadia's most iconic landscapes. The beginning of the trail will be enough to convince you to go on this walk, with a view of the bubbles, 2 rounded mountains that perfectly frame the pond. The walk is a 3.3-mile loop and is fairly easy, but it includes some rocky sections with a short rock scramble. The first section is on a raised wooden boardwalk through a beautiful spruce and cedar forest. This then gives way to a short rocky area. But after you're past this, the trail is super easy and flat. For the whole time, you will get incredible views of Jordan Pond and the bubbles. It's absolutely beautiful.
When you are done, why don't you stop at the Jordan Pond house to have a tea and to try the famous popovers? They are light and fluffy and are made from a thin egg batter that rises to form a hollow shell when baked. They were delicious. People have been enjoying this tradition since the 1890s, and this is one of the most quintessential Acadia activities. Plus, the views from the lawn are beautiful.
Our next must-do is Bubble Rock, a large boulder carried and deposited by glaciers at the edge of a mountain. To get here, you need to start at the Bubbles Divide parking lot. It's a 1.6-mile round trip, which is fairly easy, but uphill, and allows you to go to the very top of the bubbles. Yes, the same ones you just saw from Jordan Pond. When we went, access to the North Bubble was unfortunately restricted, so we could only hike to the South Bubble.
When you are at the summit, simply follow the blue blazes and you will reach this incredible natural wonder. Bubble Rock is known as a glacial erratic, a rock transported by a glacier and deposited on a different bedrock. It's a concept almost beyond our comprehension, which is why we found it so fascinating and an absolute must-do. Also, the views from here are beautiful.
Our next must-do is Otter Point, one of the most beautiful stops on the Park Loop Road. With easy access to the Ocean Path Trail, it's the perfect place to get up close to the rocky shoreline. It offers incredible coastal views, and it's a great spot to watch the waves crash against the rocks, and even spot some wildlife like seals or birds.
Our next recommendation is the Beech Cliff Ladder Trail, returning via the Canada Cliff Trail. This is a super fun and adventurous 1.6-mile hike where you will climb 4 sets of iron ladders to reach one of the most beautiful views in the park. If you have done the Beehive, this is easier and not as exposed. You park at Echo Lake and start the ascent to the top on a rocky, boulder-filled mountainside. It was hard at times to see where the path was, but when we saw the first ladder, we knew we were in the right place.
The ladders are super fun and feel extremely secure, but it can be hard at times. When you reach the top, you are greeted to a spectacular view, 480 feet above Echo Lake. For us, one of the best views in Acadia National Park. To return to the parking lot, follow the Canada Cliff Trail, a gradual and easy walk through a stunning forest. The Echo Lake area can be very busy in the summer, but when we went at the beginning of October, it was so quiet and we had the whole trail to ourselves, which made it an even more unforgettable experience.
Another must-do is Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse, a truly stunning structure that has become one of the symbols of Acadia. For this iconic vista, head down a short trail. It's so worth it. However, a huge tip is, if you're driving, get there early. The parking is super small and we waited for at least 1 hour when we visited in the afternoon just to find parking.
Our final recommendation is Bar Harbor, the getaway town to Acadia National Park. This is a quintessential Maine town with a quaint yet vibrant main street, incredible views, and a very laid-back vibe. Its main street is lined with shops and restaurants, and we loved exploring all the local businesses.
Our favourites were Sherman's Maine Coast Bookshop, the oldest bookstore in the state and one of the 10 oldest bookstores in the United States, Acadia Perk, with their creative selection of coffees, and Stewman's Downtown, where you can have some of the best Maine lobster. But what we loved the most was to just walk and soak up the atmosphere. This is a perfect activity to end your day exploring the park.
Also, bear in mind that lots of businesses in Bar Harbor will not be open from November to April, as this is when the winter makes Acadia National Park not as easy to explore, because the Park Loop Road is closed to vehicles and other sections of the park are also closed.
That's it for our 10 favourite things in Acadia, a place that truly has stolen our hearts. We are just waiting for the next excuse to go back. If you have been, we know you understand.
We feel like Acadia is almost like a state of mind. It's a place where time seems to slow down and where people seem to embrace beauty and adventure in equal measure. It's truly unforgettable.
And now, see you down the road.